Welcome to Build with Blocks, a show centered around the micro-action figures and brick-based construction sets of the Halo universe. I'm your host, Colin Perkins, and I'm joined by Tom Fishenden.
This is not true.
Oh my god.
Okay, so that was a failed attempt at doing an impression of the Gravemind, but moving forwards, hello there.
Just say it without the Gravemind accent. Just do it as British as you can.
I've got to do it properly. It's okay, I've got this.
This is not your grave, but you are welcome in it.
Matt Salvatore.
I've smelled that stench before.
I had a shower.
And the new official co-host, Gabe from GCustomsCreations. Welcome, Gabe, to the team.
Hello, everyone. I do have a question, though.
Go ahead.
What would you have your arbiter do?
That was really good, oh my god.
That was very
Bravo.
good.
Making the rest of us look like amateurs.
We can do so much with this now. I like this addition. So Gabe's going to be a regular on the show now and producing some content for you all. We are excited to have him as a part of the team. So look forward for some great stuff from Gabe. He already does great stuff. He does some,
I'm very excited.
some cool
Finally,
figures
a
and
professional
whatnot.
on the
And
show.
yeah, we're excited to see what else he can get out there for you all. It's a perfect time for him to join too, because today we're going to be talking about the Halo Infinite figures. We're going to be talking blind bags. We're going to be talking the armor packs and the Spartan pack and the Marine pack. That's the key. And we may touch on the buildable helmet. I'm the only one that has that, but I feel like we need to get that one out there finally. Some thoughts on that. So yeah, we're excited to talk to you about all these additional sets. We're almost through the full wave. There's just a couple little stragglers that we haven't touched on, but this is kind of the beef of it. And then we'll cover off on the rest of the tricklers that come out towards the end of the year. But before we get into the main topic of the show, let's go around the horn and talk about what we've been doing on the building front. Let's start with Matt this time. Matt, what have you been up to? Don't say not too much. Don't say not too much.
Quite a bit. I've been working on a couple of custom lifts for the Pelican, so you've obviously seen that if you're following the channel. So we got the Scorpion Sting lift and the Warthog Rally lift, so I was really happy with how those turned out. It's kind of nice having those being able to be carried by the Pelican, so I'm happy with that. And
I think people appreciate you sharing that system because it's super simple, like just a handful of pieces for both of them.
Yeah, I'll definitely be doing that as well.
The cool thing about both systems is that they don't require to be taken off if you want to split the Pelican. So it's because it's sectioned on each side, you can still keep each system hooked on without having to take it off to split the Pelican. So I was happy that actually kind of worked out. I have been building a couple of things for my mock, so I'll probably be teasing that with a video. It's nothing too big, but just kind of a little banished edition.
Okay.
And I collected the Halo Heroes series that we're about to talk about. So shout out to my brother who made a Walmart run and was able to pick them up for me. And
nice.
First time pickup, he picked every single figure from the line, so I was able to get all of them in one swoop.
That's huge. That means you got a fresh box
hand, so.
Because the Pelicans are right in front, and somebody that's not a collector will just grab them because they're just grabbing the front one. Usually, a lot of times they'll keep those in the back or something like that. But that's great, man. Very cool. Well, let's go around the horn to Tom.
Yeah, so obviously when I haven't been putting hours in perfecting my Gravemind impression, I have actually been spending silly amounts of money on Mega Constructs. So I got a couple of really, really cool packages recently. one of which you'll have seen a video on at this point, the other of which isn't going to have an unboxing video purely because it's got a lot of Jurassic stuff in it as well, so it doesn't feel particularly relevant. But obviously you'll have seen the one that I got from your lovely self, Colin, which had the turret takedown, the complete set of blind bags, the Brute Warrior, the Elite Ultra, the Flood Hunter drop pod, and also a gummy of Captain Cutter. And reviews of a lot of that stuff have been shot, and they will be coming out in the next couple of weeks at time of recording, so it may very well be that they're out there for you to check out. And alongside that, I actually just got a package today that had another Brute Warrior, another 2 Elite Ultras, a Dutch versus Predator pack, a Alien Queen set, a bunch of Jurassic stuff, and then 3 of the Marine Customizer pack. So I have got an absolute ton of stuff this month. My wallet is stinging, and I cannot afford to spend any more money in 2020. So
nobody gets Christmas presents.
Yeah, nobody this year. Mum, Dad, if you're listening, my love is going to have to be enough because you ain't getting anything else.
Just give a big hug.
So I bought a lot of stuff. Also, fairly recently shot some Halloween Mega Constructs photos, and they will be coming out on my Twitter very soon.
Very nice. All right, and then Gabe. So speaking of Halloween, Gabe, you always do some spooky figures, don't you?
Yes, I do. Yep, I'm working on 2. I kind of want to do a third one, but it just depends on my schedule and seeing how the first 2 go. But besides that, I myself got 2 of the UNSC Spartan armor packs, which we're going to talk about a little later.
Yeah.
I'm super excited about those. I also managed to get a few more of the Series 1 Halo Infinite blind packs, so I got some additional custom fodder. Outside of that, I've been trying not to spend so much just because there are, like, even with the Pelican, I really, really want to get it, but I haven't, and I'm debating still on justifying to myself that I need it. I'll probably get it eventually, but right now I'm kind of just, I'm just kind of sitting in limbo with it.
I mean, you need it, but when
I really do want it. Yeah. But I mean, for now, I'm just kind of gathering the smaller sets, like the armor packs and things. I'm very jealous of Tom getting all those Marines. That's the one thing I'm still hopefully going to get sooner rather than later. But yeah, I'm working on figures. I bet it is. I'm just working on figures as normal. Cool. Got a lot of new prototype stuff coming up in the coming weeks that I think you all might enjoy.
Yeah,
so
looking forward to it.
Make sure to take a look.
Well, hopefully, by the time this edit gets out there, then we can show some of those fancy pictures of your figures. That'll be fun.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I was going to jump in and say, and this is probably something that I should have just messaged you off of show, but if you want me to do any spooky edits for your photos for Halloween, let me know and we can drop some like mist in.
Ooh,
maybe
yeah.
put some cobwebs in.
I absolutely will. I will definitely message you about that. That would be an awesome idea.
Sounds good. It's Halloween. Well, by the time this drops, Halloween's either just happening soon or it happened. So we'll try to get this out before.
Enjoy, everybody!
Right. Depending how lazy I've been.
So I have a couple things. I'll dive into my stuff. So non-building related, but Halo related. I did finish Shadows of Reach. And highly recommend that if you are interested in it, pick it up. It does play directly into, well, it's after Halo 5, after Halo Wars 2, and it is before Halo Infinite, a little ways before, but it's still, it fills in a lot of gaps in between there. So lots of interesting stuff. Definitely check that out. Some good stuff. I did grab the Walmart edition, so I haven't finished that the extra bonus story yet, but that does have some interesting things to say about our enemies, I believe. So I'll be reading that shortly. I had a proud dad moment when my son decided to want to be a Halo fit person for Halloween. and that was
Yes.
completely on.
Nice.
Like I didn't.
Well, who did he go with?
Well, so it wasn't like I wasn't
Look.
pushing it on him. You know, like I get some Halo stuff, and he plays with the figures. You know, some of the figures that I give him, and we
Yeah.
put some sets together. And then he's been really I gave him a remnant hunter recently. You know, the red one, and he's like super into that. Like that's his main toy. It's been his main toy for the last couple weeks. And then he was interested in he saw my shelf. And I have a bunch of Promethean Knights up there, and so he asked for one, and so I did have like an extra Promethean, I think it's called Promethean Warriors, that pack with a knight, a couple crawlers, and a watcher. So I let him open that, and he's been playing with that anyway. So like he's been doing that, but then he also does a bunch of other toys and stuff like that. But when my wife asked him what he wants to be for Halloween, he's like, maybe a Halo guy or something. And so they were looking online, and I'm not pushing anything, letting them pick it out together. But he picked out the Reds Mark 7 that they had at Target. So yeah, so that's pretty rad.
That's awesome.
And I will. I haven't.
5.
I haven't told him that I have the Master Chief helmet because I did pick that up from Target, the new one. So I'll break that on Halloween.
Is that the full one or the half?
The full one, yeah.
Oh, it's so
It's very
nice.
Yep. So I'll break that out, and I don't have a full suit or anything, but I have plenty of Halo shirts to wear with that. So that should be fun.
So, if he's going as the Mark 7, does that mean you have an excuse to pick up the Nerf gun?
Yeah, well, we haven't. We're not there yet. He's 6, and we're not quite there yet. So we'll get there eventually. I probably will grab that anyway and just tuck it away in the closet for when it's time.
I was gonna say
pretty
you
big.
could get it and say, oh yeah, it's for him.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have some other props like an energy sword and a needler prop and some stuff like that. So we'll break that all out in due time. But excited. I think it was fun. You know. Plus we'll have that costume for the other two when they grow into it. You know. So we'll always have a Spartan in this household for Halloween, which would be good.
Amen.
Let's see, what else have I been doing on the building front? Oh, I did grab a second Pelican because I needed that other hunter. And I need that hunter for my chess set because I've been finally working on it, and I did complete a banished set. And I did send a picture to you guys, so hopefully you can flash that in the edit here. But I still need to get. So what I'm going to do is I'm doing banished versus UNSC and try to do infinite theme. So I'm trying to get as many infinite figures as I can to flesh out my chess set on the other side of the board. But I need some ODSTs, some green ODSTs, and there's not many of them out there. There is from the what is it called, like ODST Troop Pack, I believe.
Yeah.
There are it's like a Dutch, like the first Dutch we got, and then another ODST and a couple drones.
Yeah.
And then there is a green one from the Challenger blind bags way back in the day, and those things on eBay are like $30 a pop or something like that. So
Oh yeah, they're very
it's
sought
ridiculous.
after.
So I need to try to find another collector that's going to help me out because if I get those ODSTs, then I'll have like a full, I'll have like the red banished on one side and the green UNSC on the other side. It's going to be pretty rad. So I'm excited to finally finish that off. I've been teasing that. I've been working on that for literally a year and a half, or just chipping away at it or ignoring it. But I'm excited to finally get that thing done. And then I want to do the rest of the sets, like a Promethean set and a Covenant, like a pre-Schism Covenant and post-Schism Covenant. I got lots of plans for the rest of the chess set. So I'm excited.
My
about that.
man's bought another Pelican so he could complete his chess set. What a guy. What a freaking guy.
Well, there's, I can do the alternate build too, but yeah.
Or have two
Or
Pelicans.
just have 2 Pelicans. That's right.
Just
They
have
do
two
fly in pairs.
Pelicans.
You need 2 to crash.
Crash into each other.
I may have just thought of a solution for you, Colin.
Yeah.
Get a few of the Infinite Blind Bag Marine, and if you can find them on sale, get a few of the Marine Sniper and pop and swap.
Oh, because does she have the ODST helmet, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's true.
Yes. I think I did grab a couple extra of hers, so I'll check that out. Thank you for that idea.
No
I like
worries.
it. Awesome. So a couple other things real quick. Just I'm still waiting on my Masters of the Universe heroes that I mentioned from Entertainment Earth. I don't know when they're going to come. Apparently they're in Walmart's in in Canada. I think they sent them all to one Walmart. I've seen pictures where this one shelf is just stacked full of them.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm waiting for those to come. And then I did pick up the Point Dread set. Then it's got Panther. I forget if I mentioned that last time, but I do have Battle Cat and Panther. So I'm excited about that. All right, why don't we dive into the main topic of the show? And it's figure talk. Like we're doing just a teeny bit of a set here because we do get a buildable Pelican in the new blind bags, and then like I said, we'll cover off a little bit on Chief's helmet, the shelf piece that they included in this first wave. But we want to dive into the blind bags first because these have been out there for a while. It's just taken a little bit for us all to acquire the full set so we can all talk about them, and we're going to just toss it around. We're each going to take two and kind of go around the horn here. And we've done previews on this. We've hinted at certain things here and there. There might even be a video out there of the full set out there by the time this drops, but we do want to do at least a full like conversation and talk a little bit more in depth,
an analysis of the series
in depth about this stuff. So why don't we start? We'll just go down the number line, and we'll include the numbers of all the blind bags in the notes of the video. But we'll start with 7, and that's the Gungnir. And Gabe wants to talk about this Gungnir.
I do. One of the particular things that I actually really enjoy about this figure is that it's on a female torso.
Yeah.
So it uses the Air Assault chest and back, which is the same pieces that were used in Cat or the Active Camo and Black Air Assault Spartans. But I just think it's nice getting more of the female torsos or the female molds from Mega Constructs. But it's the Gungnir helmet is a entirely new mold, or at least the Halo Reach variant is an entirely new mold from Mega Constructs this year in their Halo Infinite wave. I think there's 3 or 4 different variants, but this yellow one
there's a lot.
It's a really, really nice. It's a really nice figure. It comes with the purple carbine, which we haven't actually seen a carbine in a long time. Like it's been a while since we had a carbine. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's been a while.
It's been a pretty it's been a pretty long time. But the white for the forearms and the lower legs on this figure actually are modeled. They have a little bit of like speckling in their mold, sort of how they do with the green bricks for like UNSC vehicles.
Is it just like an off-white, or like I picture it as more of a gray?
Yeah, it's not a bright white. It's more like a grayish, like off-white color. But I think that's just to add like opacity and to make sure that like the speckling that they put in mixes in a little more. But it contrasts really well against the yellow. I think it's a solid figure. It's one of my favorite of the series, probably.
Are your shoulder pads loose too? My shoulder pads are loose.
Yep. Shoulder pads are extremely loose. I'm not sure if that's just I don't know if that's because of the mold or if it's because these blind packs are they're just so relatively new. I'm not sure, but yeah, I have seen that be a bit of an issue with a few of my other friends.
Yeah, it's probably the mold of the shoulder pad itself, as my guess. It's kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
But overall, I think the figure itself is rock solid. And I really, there's a lot of Gungnirs in Infinite in these sets.
Too many.
But I'm into it. That's true. I'm totally into it. Give me more Gungnirs. I mean, we probably have enough, actually. Don't give me any more Gungnirs. But I'm all about this helmet and this armor set. So very happy. Do you guys have any other thoughts, Tom or Matt?
I really do like the white. I guess not the off-white colors of the arms and the lower portion of the boots, I guess. It's a very nice little kind of a cream color to them. So
it's a color that you'd like paint your bedroom, I feel like.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a Swiss coffee.
Yeah, exactly.
The one thing I would suggest is that, it's a really, really bright yellow.
Yeah.
So for me personally, I'd probably like black wash it real light. Just put a black wash on just so you can actually see the mold itself a little more.
You guys know how I feel about yellow Spartans running into battle.
I don't.
Tom, moving to you.
I thought that this colour yellow was a little bit more diffused. And I said that in my review. I thought it wasn't as garish as some of the other colours of yellow we've got.
Yeah.
And I did also want to say I think that the not white bits of armor that everyone's gushing about are the same color as the off-white bits on the purple Spartan in the Spartan 3 customizer pack.
Yes.
I'm fairly sure they're the same
I think
color
you're
as
right.
them.
Well, this Spartan, and we've gotten it already from the Mark 7 Halo Heroes, but this is really telling us that we're going to be able to customize our armor quite a bit, I feel like, in Infinite.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what those customizations finally are, but I bet you like this off-white color on his visor is probably going to be something that you can customize. And maybe even that stripe on there. It could be, lots of options I feel like are ahead for us. So we're excited to see that. Matt, why don't we toss it over to you for the Mark 7?
It's actually pretty good. So when I first saw it, I wasn't a huge fan of the blue, and obviously it's always that same thing. And I know Colin mentioned it in the last episode where he said you see it on the page and you're like, it's okay, and then when you get it in hand, you're like, it really kind of works.
Right.
So this blue, I mean, it's the standard Mark 7 design that we've had going forward, especially from the Halo Heroes. So the design isn't the same, but the blue is a nice shade of blue, and I really appreciate it. This guy comes with a brute shot, so we actually do get a brute shot, and it's not the not brute shot weapon. One of the things I noticed,
that's now the shock rifle, right? We've learned that.
Yes.
Oh,
the shock rifle.
I'm still calling it not brute shot. Shock rifle, that's pretty good. The brute shot that comes with this figure, the blade or like the portion that you would like cut somebody with, at the bottom has a bit of a jagged edge to it, so there's like dings and little bits of, unless I just dropped mine and it got all dinged up. But
no, that's in the mold.
So
Yeah,
it's got a nice little bunch of little dings and stuff like that, which kind of adds a little bit to it, which is kind of nice to see, especially on this level of the blind bags. Not a lot of detail goes into the weapon, so it's nice to see that this is going in. So I really appreciate this figure. I like the color of his visor. I love the blue. The helmet does look like it's a shade darker blue, and it just might be mine, but it's just a little bit, So anyway, I love the Mark 7 design, so I'm glad that we got a nice color that's not too extreme, but just kind of, it looks like Carter from Noble Team. Color.
That's a good comparison. Do you think we're gonna get brute shot in Infinite? Like that'd be pretty rad, right? Like
for sure.
If we did, I don't think it would be the same. I think it would be very different from what we remember the brute shot as being.
Oh, like the way it shoots itself in the game, you mean?
Yeah, it seems like a common theme, like with the carbine and pulse carbine, or the shotgun and the bulldog, or the mauler and the mangler. I just think if they bring back brute shot, it'll be pretty different.
Yeah.
But I hope it makes a return. I loved it in Halo 2.
It'll probably be. I was thinking about this the other day, like. In Halo Wars 2, you don't really see a lot of the weaponry the brutes use. Like, obviously, Vorodus and Tavium, they've got very, very specific weapons when you see them in that cutscene. But I was kind of thinking about it, and I was like, to all extensive purposes, the Banished on the Ark could have had things like the Mangler, and we just never see them using them. Like, there's absolutely no reason why they couldn't have had them, so I'm hoping that
that's true.
All of the tech's going to merge across in Infinite.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think they just have like plasma rifles when you get them in the Grunt unit. Gabe, what do you think about the Mark 7s? How are you feeling about these?
Still one of my absolute favorite armors, favorite figures ever. Nice,
that's great. That's high praise.
Something I would like to say is that the color for it, I'm pretty sure, is comparable to that of... I'm not sure how familiar you are with this, but Series 5 blind packs had a figure which was a Cobalt Marine.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I'm pretty sure that the blue used on this figure is almost identical to that. It's like a cobalt blue. It's really, really nice. It's almost metallic, but...
That's like the coolest
I really
blue,
like the
right?
figure.
Cobalt blue. If I have another kid, I'm gonna name him Cobalt Blue.
Oh boy. Well, I mean, Velociraptor.
Speaking of Velociraptors,
it took me a second to think of that.
Oh yeah, Tom. Any other thoughts on the 7 before we move on?
I'll be honest. I prefer the Heroes one purely because I like darker colors anyway on my Spartans. Because obviously they're more realistic. And I put the Mark 7 between two of the Stormbound ODSTs earlier. and it is like the sexiest combo of Spartan and ODST action I have ever seen.
Nice.
So I don't think any Mark 7's going to top that now.
I bet that would be pretty nice.
All right, let's move on to the Camo Chief. Matt, you're going to cover
That's
Camo Chief too.
Yeah, I'm gonna be ready, going right after the other. Camo Chief. Actually, to be honest, some of the camo figures that you get in the past, they've always kind of had this yellow tinge. Not a yellow, but kind of a more dirty, grimy look to it. The one I have, the one that I got, and I got 3 total from the blind bag series, so I got quite a swath of them.
Nice.
But they have all been so crystal clear.
Yeah,
it's amazing, and it's just so awesome. So the only thing I'll say about this figure is I don't know why he came with a battle rifle. I would have preferred that he had come with his traditional assault rifle, so that, of course, in every set that Chief's been in, he's been paired with his assault rifle. So it would have been nice to have an invisible assault rifle. So that,
because then you could swap them out.
Exactly. If I'm going to make like a stop motion, I don't want to have to swap him out, so like, he has to pick up a battle rifle before he can pick up his active camo.
Right.
But but same basic mold, just a really clear, crisp figure. I'm really impressed with it, so I love it. I think I'm gonna try to use him in some stop motion.
Right.
Hopefully I can get to it in some time, but yeah, no, I'm very impressed with it. Again,
have you done active camo stuff?
I did early on in a couple of videos that I probably never put on YouTube, but back in the day when I was just kind of fiddling with it. And that was back when it was the Gen 1 figures, so it was probably a little easier than having each segment of the armor. So I'll give it a whirl. I'll see what I can do. I'll see. If you never see it, it never worked out then.
Right. His shoulder pads are also a little loose on mine.
Let me see on mine.
I don't know.
Mine are... his left shoulder pad's a little loose.
So there's a little
But his
quality
right one's
control
nice
or
as well.
something up with the mold on these. But overall, it looks very nice. Tom, are you a camo guy?
Not really.
Okay.
Yeah, it just doesn't really do anything for me, because I always find after a few months these figures tend to get a bit brittle, and their hands especially are like notorious, at least in my collection, for snapping.
Yeah.
So I'm always just like, I'll probably never touch it again.
Right.
Why do you think that's like that?
It's all to do with plastic. Transparent plastic has got much less resilience than coloured plastic.
Really?
Yeah, because that's why it yellows so badly as well. Because if you have any exposure to sunlight, for example, transparent plastic will colour a lot worse than something else. And one thing to look out for, actually, white plastic's really bad for sun damage as well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
This feels like a good place for me to ask this question. Why do they call them gummies?
It's more a fan made up term.
Did you ask why do they call them, or why don't they call
why
them?
do they? Because I know, like, when I was starting
gummies.
Yeah, go ahead.
Gummies originates from the multicolored translucent figures being comparable to like gummy bears.
Okay.
So they're called gummies because they look like gummy candy.
And yeah, it became a term as well because back when there was old articulation and they first introduced the idea of doing it, I think Gabe will know for sure it was either Series 7 or one of the ones just after.
It was actually, the first gummy figures were in Series 5.
Oh, jeez.
There was a brown Mark IV, a red Mark IV, and a blue Mark IV. There was 3 options you could get.
Wow, yeah. That's blown my mind because I was just thinking of the one with the Mountain Dew Elite, that wave.
Yeah, that was Series 6. Yeah.
Wow, yeah. So that they kind of introduced multiple different ones at the same time, and then gummies just stuck.
So what do you think Chief tastes like? Is he cherry? Like, what would clear Chief be?
I think Krista would want to answer this question.
He's mint.
Mint, okay. I'm into that.
Cookies and cream mint.
Pure, hard testosterone.
Let's move on to the Marine. Tom, you want to talk about this Marine because you hate his knee pads.
Are you sure you trust me talking now? Yeah, so...
We don't. We
this
never
Marine,
did.
I go back and forth on it. I think I want to preempt it by saying very broadly, with the Infinite line, we've been very lucky at how many Marines we've got. And the fact that we're continuing to get them, like the platoon pack that's coming out looks flawless. But I have a slight problem, well, two slight problems with this Marine, purely because it's the easiest way for people to get multiples of Marines, and it has elements which make it harder to use with things like the Marine gear pack. I keep calling it a customizer pack. And the two main things are, firstly, the fact that, like you say, I have an issue with the knee pads. This is the only Marine in the entire Infinite line where the knee pads aren't painted. They're just green like the pants. Oh my god, the Americanisms are taking over. I said pants, not trousers. And
Converting
they
it.
kind of like, they just blend into the colours. And it doesn't look that bad in person, but it's just noticeable when he's displayed with other Marine figures. You can just tell it's not got the same level of detail. And the second thing is the fact that they chose to give this one the sleeves without any shoulder mounts. Because what that means is if you get a lot of these Marines, you can't use them with something like the Marine Customizer pack to put different shoulder plates on. And I think it's a shame, because it really limits the amount of interplayability you get with this and some of the other products in the line. So in that regard, it's frustrating for me. But I also appreciate that I probably sound like a spoilt child, considering how many other ways we have to get Marines. And I mean, if like this is that big a problem, I can quite easily just get a few more of Recon Getaway for the price it is. So it's not really an issue per se. I just don't quite understand the logic behind it.
Sure. He's just a level 1 Marine, you know?
He's a
He hasn't
recruit.
gotten his, his high
He's been
level.
playing too much Division again.
He hasn't gotten his purple knee pads yet. That's the problem.
Halo Infinite MMO confirmed.
Right. Gabe, tell me about your love for Marines.
Well, I mean, I have a love for them and I also have a hate for them because I can't find the Marine gear pack.
Oh.
So I have been forced.
That's
I
right.
have been forced to buying a whole bunch of the Marines from the Infinite Series 1 packs.
What do you think of these helmets though? Like, are you gonna do some stuff with these helmets from a customization standpoint?
Absolutely. Marine. I finally get to talk about my job and why I love it. The chest piece on this Marine is actually the base armor piece that is used in Reach across all AA pilots, Marines, soldiers, which, by the way, the Halo Reach Marines are technically the soldiers of Reach, and they're also used on ODST Bullfrogs.
Okay.
So at the moment, my first immediate custom plan with a new Infinite Marine is to make an ODST Bullfrog from Halo Reach.
I love you.
I love you too, buddy. But yeah, I mean, the Marines in this series, the other thing that I love about the Marines in this series is the assault rifle. I'm glad that it's a cheap, easy, consistent way to get the assault rifle mold. Because before this, I think it's the Chief in the Duo pack and the Recon Spartan and the Chief in the Warthog. So I'm finally, I'm glad that there's a way to get lots of the assault rifles because I love the new assault rifle mold.
Matt, any other thoughts on Marines?
Yeah, actually, to be honest, I'm actually not a huge fan of the shoulder pads on the Marines. So because I think they just look a little too bulky. And I'll say that probably my most favorite thing to come out of this new line has been the Marines. And obviously they are a little taller, so that's kind of a drawback. But I don't necessarily need them to be as bulky as a Spartan. And so that kind of compensates for them being a little taller, so they just don't feel like they're these massive tanks owning the battlefield. So I'm okay with them not including the shoulder pads. So I'm indifferent to it. Most of them, I think I mentioned the Marine snipers. I took the shoulder pads off because I felt like they were just made the snipers look just huge. So I took those off. But so I'm not a huge disappointed, or I'm kind of indifferent to it, but I do agree with Tom. It is kind of sad that the knee pads aren't painted, but I think it's an easy fix if you really want to just kind of paint those out. And I think it just adds a little level of customization that if you want, you could just add a little bit so it looks like he has scuffed up knee pads. So
well, I like that you can turn his feet on backwards so that it looks like he's just silly on the dance floor.
You really want to make this guy a level 1, don't you? He's wearing his boots the wrong way. Next, you're going to say he's got his helmet attached to the bottom of one leg.
We can make that happen. All right, let's talk about the Grunt, the gorgeous Grunt. Gabe, take this one.
Yes. So this figure in particular, I have been begging for since like 2013. Because in 2012, with the release of Halo 4, Mega gave us the old articulation Storm Grunt and the old articulation Imperial. And then I think around 2015 is when the new articulation Grunts came out. And for some reason, it's only ever been Storm Grunts or Halo 3 Grunts, and then recently, I guess, the Halo Reach style Halo 2 Anniversary Grunts. But for some reason, it's like every other version of the Grunt from Halo 4 was completely forgotten about. So finally, Infinite gives it the push that it needed, and now we have an official Grunt Imperial / Halo Infinite Grunt. This one comes in orange with 2 translucent blue plasma grenades, which is something they used to do a lot, and they stopped doing. So I'm actually kind of glad that, comparatively, like with the old style energy sword, they're also bringing back translucent grenades. I just like that little feature. Yeah. But on the sides of the methane tank, there's actually 2 small round stud pieces, I guess, to emulate like the tank itself. But it does still use the old style head, which gives it this very stumpy no neck look. Yeah. I kind of wish they would have just gone just a little bit further and just made a helmet that could already be used on the Grunt's head mold. But, I mean, for what it is, and for sake of the fact that I'm just glad I have the Grunt mold now, it's a solid figure. The shell actually is different from most Grunts. It doesn't connect under the arm. It's just, it just kind of wraps under there at a point, but it doesn't actually connect, which is, I'm not sure if that was a design choice in order to make it easier to remove, or what the reason for that was, but it looks good to me. But yeah, I'm super happy with it, and I've already amassed, I think I've got 9 of these Grunts.
Holy smokes.
I think
I've got plans for them. So
are they all
don't worry.
Built when you open them? I'm forgetting if this was built or not.
Yeah. My
the
Grunts are always built.
Okay, and that's good because the Grunts just kill your fingers to try to put these things
That's
together.
True. Putting their little legs on.
Yeah, they just destroy your fingers with all these little sharp edges that they have. So I'm glad that they're giving them to us built, because that makes my fingers much happier.
I agree.
Yeah. Tom, any other thoughts on the Grunt?
I'm going to go from being really pathetic and moaning about knee pads to choking, apparently, to praising the fact that this is the same colour orange as the Grunt in Recon Getaway, because it would have been very similar, like easy for them to be a slightly different shade, because that happens all the time. So the fact that they match just looks so good. I mean, I've got one of them stood in the middle of a group of 3 of the Recon Getaway Grunts, and it just looks so good.
Yeah.
I didn't actually notice that. Are they the same color? Oh, that's awesome. That'll make for some really convenient Halo Infinite like setup pictures since they have both art styles. That'll help with the consistency at least.
Yeah. This also isn't even the first Imperial Grunt that we've seen in the Infinite Wave. There was the red Imperial Grunt that came with the AA turret.
Yeah. With the
So it's nice to see a variety of different
turret,
colors.
Sadly.
So that's that kind of variety is really kind of neat, especially if you're army building, so you're not going to have a bunch of just one color, especially with the Covenant.
And if you are army building, note that red version is getting re-released in the Ghost that's coming out next year.
Ooh, that's right.
Oh right, yeah, very nice.
Awesome.
All right, let's move on. I'm a fan of the Grunt as well. I think in general, when I started collecting, Grunts were kind of rare for some reason at that time. I think it was end of 2018, early 2019, I believe. And I couldn't track many down. They may not have been blind bags, but now there's lots of Grunts and they're all over the place. and it's good because you need them to really make a complete Covenant or Banished army, because they're the cannon fodder, right? There's lots of them in the army, and they just get mowed down by the Spartans. Yep.
They're just bullet sponges.
Pretty much. Well, not sponges. They're just bullets. Yeah. They die immediately.
They're like the droids of Star Wars.
Yes. Exactly.
They overwhelm you.
Roger.
Exactly.
Speaking of bullet sponges, though, the elite that you get this is one of my favorite elites that I've seen in a long time.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I feel like when we did a preview, we were a lot harsher on this wave. And now, to Matt's point, it's like, this is actually a really good wave. And if you want an elite, get this one. Because it's the proper purple color, if you're a fan of the Covenant, and it has an energy sword, which is a fantastic transparent blue, and the mandible covers on the helmet are just so good, and you can do many things with this. If you want to go, Gabe's route and just do a little bit of touch up and a little bit of paint coloring, you can do that pretty easily, I feel like. This guy's really nice. So I would say he's probably one of the favorites of the entire line, just how classic a look he has. Matt, what do you think about this thing?
I love him. So I like the idea that we're keeping with the same armor style and then just doing variations of color. So obviously in the Recon Getaway, you have the same kind of style, but it's a darker blue. And I like that they included the same black undersuit, under armor, and then you have the gray flesh tone of the elite. So just little touches like this that kind of link it together and connect them is excellent. So the energy sword is cool. It's interesting that we're going back to, I would say, the Halo 5 energy sword design. So it's kind of neat to see Infinite kind of especially the Mega Constructs that's kind of straddled the line between bringing in a little bit of the old and mixing it in with the new, so you're kind of having a variety of all sorts of different weapons and variations. So I'm happy to see him. I think I've collected the most of this guy, so I think I have 4 of him.
Nice.
So, yeah. So I'm very happy. It's very nice to have.
This energy sword feels like, and I don't know, there's probably little tweaks to energy swords, but this feels like the energy sword, the display piece that you get, the big buildable display sword. It feels like that similar, it's modeled after that similar style of energy sword.
It's more angular.
Did everyone else's have the marbled effect on it, where it's got like one?
Yeah, I was going to mention this energy sword in this series is it is marbled with dark blue or white.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very nice. Any other thoughts, Tom? You want to chime in on?
No, that's it. Just the sword. Yeah. Good color purple.
Yeah, Gabe, what are you gonna do with this thing? Are you gonna use this as a base figure?
That's probably about all I'll use it for, honestly. I'm kind of getting a little burnt out on Halo 3 combat elites, because we had the green one, then we had the blue one, then we had a second blue one, now we have a purple one, there's also the red one.
Yeah.
We're already up to 5 different colors of a combat elite.
It was a green one too, right?
Yeah, that was the first one, the green one from a couple series back. I agree with majority of what everybody said. It's a really nice mold. The color actually is really pretty. It looks purple, and then you take it out of the bag, and it's almost like an indigo color. Yeah. It's a really pretty shade. But I'm so happy that they did a black undersuit. Yeah. Like Matt said, that's probably my favorite thing. It's so frustrating trying to do elite customs, and then you have like tan skin or blue skin, but I'm so happy that they went with black, because it makes it so much easier, and it looks really good with the purple.
Totally agree. All right, we are on to the pilot, who we still don't know his name. He's still the pilot, but he is in holographic form. Tom, talk about this thing.
His name's Brohammer.
No.
It's Oscar Mayer.
So, my boy, Chief's best friend, Broy H, he is a very cool figure in his holographic form. I don't know, I kind of feel like there's something more appealing about having characters like, say, for example, Cutter as a hologram, because you can picture him communicating with other ships. But actually, having the pilot as a holographic figure really hit me in the feels, because whenever I look at this figure, I'm taken back to the Discover Hope trailer, and the moment where he's having the holographic conversation with his daughter, and I can almost picture this being what she could see at the other end. So I think in that regard, it's a really nice kind of way to...
Good Lord, you just made this sentimental as heck.
Yeah, it's what I do.
Gosh.
It's why I'm here, you know? So I think it's a really nice way of kind of paying homage to that trailer. And I also just think it's a nice way for people to get this figure a lot cheaper. Because obviously, if you're somebody with insane talent like Gabe, then you could easily...
Come on, guys, come on.
You could easily repaint this and have yourself a pilot without having to buy the biggest set of the wave.
Yeah.
So I like
yeah,
that.
absolutely could, yeah.
That's a good point. What do you think? So I feel like I mentioned this on the Pelican show, but his suspenders, like, they're uneven.
Yeah.
And it bothers me.
I think they're supposed to be like that, kind of showing a little bit more of a disheveled pilot.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, so I can tell you the technical reason for that. It's because they're a Call of Duty piece. And the way that the Call of Duty torsos work is slightly different because they have a different style lip on the legs than they do on the bottom of the torsos, because obviously they have the tack belt in the middle that connects it together. So this is designed to have essentially a in and out piece connecting, whereas the Halo figures are just in and in, so the legs have got the same flat piece as the torsos. So that means it doesn't quite bite, so it's not fully secured in place. It is kind of just sitting there wedged between those two pieces.
Right.
So if you were to put it on something like a COD figure, like a good example, I don't know his name. I always think of him as Torbjorn from Overwatch because he looks really similar. But there's a COD Heroes figure that comes with the suspenders on from Black Ops 4, and his are like perfectly balanced because they were designed for him.
Gotcha.
So it's probably more just because they're reusing those pieces. But I think they're nice, you know. I remember saying when the trailer came out, I think on one of our shows, I said if Mega do the pilot, I really hope they use that suspender piece. So I'm glad they did, because I think it looks really cool. And like Matt said, it just lends more to his appearance in the trailer.
Is this the sidekick gun as well?
Yes.
Oh, the sidekick, yeah.
And
Although
that's controversial.
I want to say it doesn't look like a sidekick. It looks like a 1911.
Yep. In reference to the sidekick, I mean, you have to think at that scale, how different can you make something that small look? I mean, the differentiating a 1911 to a sidekick Magnum from Halo would be extremely hard. But I mean, I don't know. I kind of look at it and it looks like one of those little Lego guns.
It's too small. It should be a little bit bigger.
I would have just stuck with the regular Magnum. But
Well, if you look at the Halo Infinite gameplay trailer, the gun itself, the sidekick, is actually pretty small. I mean, compared to the Magnum, I'd say it's a smaller gun canonically. So that's just kind of my opinion. But really cool thing about the pilot here is that if you shine a light in the back, it really kind of illuminates and it looks really cool. So if you do grab this figure, just shine a light in the back, you know, from like your phone, just to kind of light him up. Yeah, I might do a picture of that, Tom. Have a picture of a light shining in the back, so he's like, he might look like the librarian. He might look like the librarian, though. That's what it is. Brohammer's the librarian. Disguise.
Yeah, the librarian grew a beard.
Brobarian.
All right, let's talk about this Pelican real quick. I think I talked about it a little bit already in terms of the comparison to the building box Pelican that you can build. So this thing is smaller, but it's more intricate, and I do like it. I like that. I like the look of it. I think that, you know, the build is, you know, it's simple, but it's well done, and it clearly resembles a Pelican. You know, if you saw this thing randomly on a shelf, you know, from far away, you'd be like, oh, that's a cute little Pelican. That's cool. My only thing with these micros, and I like these, but I want to pair them with other vehicles that are in the same scale, and you're just not going to be able to get a Warthog that is scaled, you know, to the same size of this. So I'm sure somebody's done it where it's like a micro build of all of the vehicles that are to scale. You'd probably have to start with the Warthog and then go up from there. But that's my only thing from like it's a cool little piece, but I wouldn't really pair it with anything else. Maybe other besides the the pilot and the chief, on a display piece, or just, with the whole wave, just to show that, hey, you have completed this full blind bag wave. But in terms of, I probably wouldn't put it next to, a full Warthog, because that's just going to look weird, right? That's going to look a little awkward. But
it's not even to scale with the Infinity, is it?
No.
It's not it's
No.
way too big.
Oh goodness, no.
Yeah, so you can't even do that. I'm just kind of sad.
Mm-hmm. Gabe, what do you think about these, the little Pelican?
Actually, for the first few series that they did this, I didn't get the microfleet vehicles. I really wasn't that interested in them. I've since gone back and gotten them because the obsessor in me needed to complete the series. But the Pelican itself is really cool. I do like that they retain the ability to pivot all four, both of the engines and both of the wings. I think it's really cool that they figured out a way to build something that small, but also have that much detail packed into it.
Exactly.
For sure.
Props to the creative team on that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a solid little thing. I think it's interesting because, like, a callback to all the past series is that usually the active camo figure has always been the ultra rare.
Yeah.
And now in this series, Chief is a common.
Yeah, that is weird.
Like, you can just get active camo Chief out the wazoo, and now the Pelican is an ultra rare. Which I think is interesting because if you get a Pelican, I feel like it's pretty easy to pick it up, and when you feel a bunch of pieces, you're like, wow, look at that, it's Pelican.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for what it is, I like the Pelican. I think it's a solid little collectible.
Tom, any closing thoughts before we move on to the next set?
Yeah, active camo Chief being common is clearly because Halsey clones him in Halo Infinite.
Man. What?
She does that in Shadows of Reach, so you gotta pick up the book.
I wasn't gonna mention it.
Spoilers!
That's where they're going to reach. They had a bunch of Chiefs on ice down there.
Aha!
Along the way, they rescue Noble 6 from the cave. They find George in the ruins of New Alexandria. It's a whole
Johnson's in
amazing
it
journey.
too. Yeah.
Oh, and
Don't
Johnson gets laid.
even bring up my man
Geesh.
George.
Oh boy.
And John's real name is actually Django.
Let's move on to the UNSC Spartan armor pack. And Gabe, I'm going to give you the lead on this one. This thing, there's both of these packs, the Marine gear pack and the armor pack. There's just a lot of stuff in these things.
Yeah,
there's a lot. So starting off with the UNSC Spartan armor pack, it comes with 106 pieces, and labeled on the box it does say it has 30 plus accessories, which is absolutely true. I think it comes with 3 figures, which out of the package it comes with a Recon Spartan in gray as the primary and yellow for the secondary, a Grenadier Spartan, which is yellow for the primary and gray for the secondary, or Steelers colors. Shout out to Halo fan for life. And then it comes with a Banished Brute Warrior in silver, and it's kind of like a brown color. But just talking about the first 3 figures, 2 very interesting things I want to note is that on the Grenadier, the grenades on his chest and belt are a metallic blue. Which is it's a very striking metallic blue. It's very interesting. And he has a metallic, almost like a pearl visor.
Yeah,
it's a culmination of a lot of very interesting color choices, but it kind of works, and I dig it. And the second thing is that it's the Brute Warrior with the new chest, torso, or with the chest, belt, and helmet.
Yes.
Which is just the same as the one from the Hero series. Because in the 2-pack, it's just a bunch of reused, recolored pieces, but I actually much prefer this design for the Brute Warrior. Additionally, in this set, it comes with a gravity hammer, the assault rifle, the sidekick pistol, a mangler, and the Bulldog shotgun. Yeah. And it comes with 4 frag grenades. Comes with 4 of the kind of like the muzzle flash pieces, which I personally love just because they add so much action to your setup. And actually, the set also comes with something extremely old. Like, I'm pretty sure the last time I remember seeing this set is from like the AA gun versus Rocket Hog, it comes with a Covenant crate.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's
Which
red,
is
too.
such a neat... It's such a... Yeah, and it's red, I assume, for the Banished. But it's just such a neat detail that they haven't included in years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's so nice to, get scenery pieces, especially Banished ones or Covenant ones. But the additional armor sets that it comes with is... they're all reach-based. So you have things such as the Security Shoulder, Commando Shoulder, Grenadier, Mark V, Scout, and Gungnir shoulders. And then you also have an EVA helmet, Commando helmet, Operator helmet, and Gungnir helmet, as well as a Commando chest, 2 base reach chest pieces, and then an additional Brigadier chest piece. And all in all, I got 2 of these personally, one to keep sealed for now, and one to open so I could use it for pieces and things. But honestly, this is probably one of my top 3, if not my favorite set from the Infinite Wave.
Really?
Because there is so much you can do with this set. Alone from the pieces that they give you just standard from this set, you can make... I saw it somewhere. It's like over 12 different combinations or something for the Spartans.
Wow.
Like, it's a ridiculous amount of customization options. But also, because of what I do, this gives me so many pieces to use.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And once again, we get another Gungnir. So I think that's, 1, 2, 3... That's 4 or 5. But I love the helmet. I mean, everything in it is amazing. The weapon selection is awesome. It does also come with interchangeable scopes for all of the weapons, which are super cool. So you have the cog scope and the standard, and then the one for the assault rifle.
So in Halo 5, we had to choose like the full-on gun. We couldn't swap out just the scope, right?
Well, there were scope options, and then there were scopes with gun attachments.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you could have like a cog sight, or you could have a cog sight with a red dot.
Gotcha.
But it was all like prefab.
Yeah.
Yep.
You couldn't.
Yeah. You couldn't customize your
Right.
guns in game. That's more of a Call of Duty-esque thing.
Yeah.
I wonder if we're going that direction though with Infinite.
Maybe.
With all this.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind
I
at all.
would
I think it'd be
love
really
that.
cool to have like classes.
Oh yeah.
That'd be super
Give
cool.
me a super tactical ODST version of a DMR any day.
That would be something. But yeah, I mean, all in all, this set is definitely, like I said, it's definitely one of my top 3, if not my favorite set of this year.
Wow.
I'm really pleased with everything that comes with it, and hopefully I'll be able to find a few more of these, because I do plan to army build all these Reach figures.
Yeah, they're becoming more available on Walmart.com. I don't know where else we can find them. Are these the ones that were supposed to be at Dollar General? Or is that the other ones we haven't seen?
No,
combat
those are the
units?
other ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Matt, what do you think about these?
I had the opportunity to buy one, and I went with buying another Marine pack. The only
Traitor.
reason why I'd probably buy this set is because of the box. I like Spartans, and I like having a plethora of Spartans. I'm just not a fan of the yellow. I like the idea of having all the weapons. The Brute is cool. The only thing I'll say about this particular Brute is that I can't really stop motion with him because of the design of his foot. So it's really complicated and hard to try to get this guy to walk because his foot doesn't turn or give. And that's kind of a problem with the Brutes right now. If you notice in any of my stop motions, the Brutes kind of only walk straight and they never turn. It's because of their feet don't allow them to turn, whereas the Elites, the hoof is so much smaller. Same thing with the Spartans. It allows them to turn in the stud pivot. So this guy probably, if I can't really stop motion with it. So, yeah, the box is awesome.
Fair enough. There's two kinds of people.
Right, exactly.
I have actually seen a lot of praise for this set, and more power to the people that love it. I think it's a great set, especially for what you do, Gabe. Especially if you want to customize and you're looking for different armor variations. But if down to the gun, if I wanted to do this set or a Marine gear pack, in my opinion, the Marine gear pack is just leaps and bounds ahead of this set by so much.
Yeah. Whatever.
Tom, how does the yellow pop on photography? Is it too much?
I don't have it.
I know, but the yellow, as you've taken yellow pictures of the yellow Spartans and whatnot, is it too much?
The best example I can give you is the Recon from Heroes Series 11. I took that one out on a summer's day, and it kind of, the best word I can use is it gets a nice radiance about it, where it's not really transparent, but it kind of absorbs the light nicely. So it looks really bright. But if I was trying to shoot something gritty, then I wouldn't want to work with it, because it like you get a single little bit of light and instantly that kind of washes out all of the other color. So if you're going for something where it's very vibrant and the figure is your focus, like I can remember the shot I've got in my head, it was a portrait shot of the operator figure, not the Recon, so it made it really pop and stand out actually. But if you were using it as part of a scene, then I think it would probably detract from the overall effect.
Yeah. Yep, I could see that. My only comment on this set, and I do like it, I do like having all the customization, but from a more of like a collector standpoint, I guess I do like it when they give you some sort of a crate to put everything in. I know they gave you this little, Covenant crate or Banish crate, but you can't really fit much in there. So I have all these loose pieces, and I can organize them and find a way to keep them nice. But I also like having, well, right. But I also like having them all together. Like if I do put this on my shelf, I would like to have something that comes with the set that I can put all the pieces in and kind of pick them out, rather than having to come up with my own solution for that.
I was going to jump in and say I've not picked this one up, but I really like that the colours can be swapped across. So a lot of times you'll get like a completely different highlight colour on both of them, so it won't work well, and it will still be a figure with highlights. Whereas with this, I really love the fact that the grey highlights are like the same colour as the core grey armour pieces. Yeah. Because I can picture that Recon in all grey armour looking like the sleekest Oni operator around. Yep. Like, that is a figure I want to own.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, and I love that chest piece. It's more of a commando chest piece, right?
Yeah.
But I really like that. I know I mentioned that. What set was it from? The...
Banshee.
I forget which one. Banshee one, yeah. I really like that figure. Cool. Well, why don't we move on to the Marine gear pack? And Tom's going to take this one. He feels highly on this one.
I'm going to get very excited. So I'm going to start by saying, if you have any hesitations about buying this pack, it's going to be popular. So I would never usually encourage this, but stop listening to us and go and buy this set.
Yeah. If you can find it.
Yeah, if you can find it. There's been so much demand for it already. So I want to pretext this by saying we were talking beforehand on the show about Avatar, and I was explaining how for me I've always kind of loved the UNSC aesthetic, the UNSC art design, and a lot of that boils down to the way that actually humans function in the universe. And I've always found the way that BDUs, especially on the Marines, are designed is really, really interesting, because I kind of like the futuristic plate carriers and all those kinds of details. So this is the perfect set for somebody who is a fan of marine armor, because it gives you so much of it. Yeah. But if you're like me and you've got a lot of other figures, maybe a couple of Recon Getaway sets, then this lets you make every character feel unique. And it really, really equips you with the tools to make some really, really cool combinations.
Were you saying that the shoulder pads don't interact with the blind bag Marine?
They don't, no.
Oh, man, that is a bummer.
Yep. So the set itself, the main focus of it is the two Marines, one female Marine with black hair and a male Marine.
About the Marine from the blind pack, you say what, like shoulder armor doesn't go on him?
So it's the figure that hasn't got the notch for the shoulder armor. It's the same as Recon Getaway, where it's not got the notch there. It's just a flat sleeve.
So it doesn't hang on it?
Yeah, so it wouldn't grip. It would probably fall off quite easily. It all depends. With those kinds of arms, they can be a thin enough circumference that you can still fit the shoulder plate on. But in my experience, the ones that don't have the shoulder plates, like Notch, if you try and force it on, it will force the piece of armor and it will break it.
I was just confused because when you look at the packaging for these blind series, they have the correct shoulders that have the notch on them.
Oh, whoa.
It's actually on the graphic, but the figure, I literally just looked at the Marine as you said that, and you're right.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's a mess up or... Huh,
Possible,
I didn't even notice.
It kind of doesn't make sense when you compare it to this set, because the whole idea with this set is that you get loads of shoulder armor, so you can obviously add it to the figures in this set, but also add some variety to the figures in the other sets. So say, for example, the Warthog Rally Marine, who's got short sleeves and the Air Assault shoulders. Don't like the Air Assault shoulders? Take them off, put the Mark V shoulders on there, you're sorted. So the whole idea with this is that you get that level of interchangeability, but it doesn't stop there, because you get loads and loads of different attachments for leg straps, you get a knife, you get a unique pouch that was used for Atlas and futuristic soldiers in the COD line, you get normal pouches, you get a smoke grenade, you get a knife, you get weapons that have got multiple attachments, including an energy bayonet. And then the really main draw for me is the fact that you get white armor pieces, although they're not really white, they're kind of off grey, to simulate Halo Reach army troopers, which is really awesome. And you also get a pilot torso and helmet, so you can make other pilots for your Pelican if you want to have that particular pilot out of it on display, which is cool.
Yeah.
And the thing I like is you can mix up loads of different elements, and it all has such a great degree of interchangeability. So, say for example the pilot torso, I put that piece of armor on a fully decked out Marine and then gave him a normal helmet, and he looked like he was like a close quarters specialist. So there's
That sounds awesome.
so much you can experiment with here, and so many pieces. It blows my mind, and it gets me really excited, because for me, one of my biggest pet gripes, when you have a figure who's got their face exposed, if they've got the exact same armor and stuff like that, then it just feels like the same character over and over again. But this really gives you all the tools to change things out. And I think ultimately, for those of us who have been asking for them to do more with the Marines, do more variety, all that kind of stuff, they've really gone above and beyond by doing something like this, because they could have just said, here's your interchangeable helmet, here's your female body mold, that's it. But taking it to this level just gives you so many options, and it, as somebody who generally speaking will army build Marines and exclusively Marines, it's the perfect set for me. And I don't want to gush too much, because obviously Marines aren't for everyone, but for me, because that's what I've always been drawn to for Halo,
Yes.
this is literally hands down my favourite set of 2020.
Yeah.
Matt, why don't you take it?
This set, I mean, I haven't gotten it in hand yet, but I did purchase a couple of them, so hopefully they get to me fairly soon. I think the cool thing about this set is that it gives you, like Tom was talking about, just a variety of ways to make this work. And the cool thing is that you also get a elite that you can build army build with, and this is the same armor variation of the purple elite that we talked about in the blind series. It's just red, so more colors, same mold, but it's nice to see such a set. I mean, I think the army pack, the Marine pack that's coming later, that has, I think, is it 5 figures?
Yeah.
That one's going to be your ultimate Marine army builder set. But this set is nice because it has a combination of both. So if you're getting a Marine, you're always getting an elite with it. So you're never feeling like you're just going to stack one of your forces that's going to outmatch the Covenant or the Banished. So it's nice to have that, a bit of a pairing. So again, I'm very happy with it. I love Marines. You know, I think there's something about Halo that it just adds such an amazing layer to it, because you're obviously Chief, this super soldier and stuff like that, but the Marines add such character and such a flavor to Halo. So I'm looking forward to how they interact with you in Infinite. And it looks like because Mega Construct has taken such a huge focus on Marines, that there's going to be a huge focus on Marines in Infinite. So I'm super excited about it.
Yeah.
I love everything about this set, and I'm probably going to buy more, and I might stop off and buy the other one just for that red crate.
How cool would it be to in Infinite where you're like defending a point or defending a base with a bunch of Marines? You know, we haven't really done that in Halo. We usually just have a handful of Marines that we have with us. You know,
I'd be down.
And
for
you're
that.
attacking a position, and there's a couple Marines off to the side, but they never really make it there. But wouldn't that be cool? Or maybe you could somehow direct them around. Yeah, I mean, I think if they can incorporate a bunch of Marines, or are incorporating a bunch of Marines into Halo Infinite, it could be a really rad experience, unique Halo experience that we haven't seen.
I'm thinking of a lot of missions that are like that first Combat Evolved mission when you're on Halo, where you go pick up the Marines and you save them and you rescue them and you load them up on the Pelican.
Yes.
I'm thinking of a bunch of missions like that and side missions too, like, you can kind of like in Arkham City or Arkham Knight, you know, you have these little side missions like, these guys need help, these police officers need help, and you can choose to help them or you can do it later. But that would be kind of neat if they had like little markers of like Marines that you can go around and help.
Well, yeah, I could totally see that with with it being open world. I mean, imagine all of the side mission possibilities that there will be. I'd be surprised if there wasn't, save this, Delta Squad or something. I'd be all for that.
I'm gonna blow your mind, because that is a feature. Halo Cannon's already mentioned it in a video. He noticed, I can't remember which bit of footage it was, because I'm sure it was not there in the E3 demo. Yeah, but it's not the same one as the demo. I'm sure it's not, because I've combed over it.
No, it is.
But
It is.
Well,
He just slowed it down really
demo
slow, like cause
oh boy.
yeah, and it just flashes a bunch of other missions that pop up.
And it is, ironically enough, Gabe, it's like Marine Delta Squad, rescue the Marines.
Is it seriously?
Yeah. But I shout out to Ian anyway, by the way, because he does a lot of really cool content.
Yeah, for sure.
But I kind of feel like now is the time to do a Marine spin-off as well. Like, if you're doing Infinite as a storytelling platform, give us this chief story as the start, and then in DLC, let us explore other perspectives on the universe.
Totally.
Even other perspectives on Delta Halo. While Chief's dealing with Escharum, what's Sarah Palmer off doing, for example, if she's in Infinite? I think
if she's
all that
dead,
kind
though?
of stuff could be cool. Matt.
What if Hyperius has Sarah Palmer's helmet on his other shoulder?
He does
Oh my
not.
God.
Long live Sarah Palmer. All right. Well, so Gabe, any other thoughts on this Marine pack? Or
I'm jealous. I want it, and I'm broke. So. I mean,
Well, you're on the evolved payroll now, buddy.
yeah, right.
I'll tell you, it really does. Oh man, making big bucks. I tell you what. But I'll say probably one of my favorite parts about the Marine set is that it includes white armor pieces, which is, I mean, at least to me, it's kind of in reference to like the pilots and the Army Troopers from Reach, just like Tom was talking about. I mean, that's probably one of my favorite features of it. I do like that it includes a plasma launcher, which again is a weapon we haven't seen for years in a set. So it's, really nice that that's being brought back. But I'll definitely be getting it. It's just a matter of when and funds. So,
it was on sale at
watch
Walmart
out for G-Customs sale.
Just keep an eye on Walmart. It was on sale for a little bit.
Yeah, you've got to. For anyone listening though, the RRP on this set is $14.99. Do not pay more than that, because Walmart does unfortunately let third parties list it, and it has been going for upwards of $30. So wait,
do
be
not
patient.
assist scammers.
Yeah, this will get restocked.
Yep, totally. All right, let's talk about the buildable helmet, and I don't know if you guys are gonna get this, so I'm gonna take the lead on this. It's a really nice shelf piece, and I think we've talked about on the beginning of our coverage of the Infinite series is I wanted more of these types of sets, shelf pieces, because I feel like I'm more of the collector, build it and put it on a shelf. But this thing is it's beautiful. It's the only weird thing, and I mentioned it before, it's a different color green than the rest of the sets. So somewhere along the lines, maybe this is more true to the armor that Chief is wearing in the game than what we've seen elsewhere. I guess I don't have a Chief figure nearby to compare it to.
It's kind of a more vibrant green, so if it's a little bit brighter, a little bit more
I would consider
saturated.
I would consider it more drab. It's not. Yeah, it's so it's dark. It's lighter than the rest of the green that we've seen in the other series, but it's like a dull green. But I'm into it. It looks very good when it's all pieced together, and I think they did a good job. One of the best parts about it was the first part of the build. You're like really not sure what you're doing, what you're building, and then you realize that you're building the port in the back of his helmet to then eventually stick in the little chip that comes with it, which is really cool. So you're kind of building it upside down and sideways and flipping it around, and then eventually you get to put the visor on, and that's a totally unique thing to Mega Constructs. I think it was Maya that did the feature on the San Diego Comic-Con video a while back, and just showing how that attaches. It kind of loops over one of the studs on each, or actually kind of in two different locations it's anchored, so it loops around a couple studs and then you bend it around. And I think that's probably the best solution rather than doing a buildable visor, because it does give it some reflection, and gives it a nice angle to really pull the set together. So I'm happy with that, how they did that. The stand is nice. It's basic, but it looks nice. It's not like completely flat, and it has some nice angles to it as you build it up in a little Halo Infinite plaque on the front. I really like building his visor on top. That was also a fun element of the build. Building that visor that you can just kind of plop on the top at the very end, and then you do build the chip itself. And the only critique on this whole set is the chip itself. It's a little snug in there, so when I'm trying to pull it out, sometimes it just pulls out. There's these little rod pieces on the very end of it, so it pulls those out versus the full chip. So you kind of have to squeeze it the right way with your fingers to pull it out. So it's a little snug in there. And then I am a little disappointed that they didn't put any sort of transparent blue, like some Cortana type blue color in there. I think that they probably could have added that somehow. But it's just
Cortana bad.
Well, right. But they could have added something, some color to the chip, because it's pretty basic when you pull it out. But it wasn't until I saw Jangbrix's review of this thing, there's two studs on it. And the two studs are for a figure. It's gotta be for a figure.
So you can put a little.
Yeah.
You can put a little Cortana.
Roland.
You can put a little Cortana on there. Exactly. So, and I wonder, would she be scaled like one of our full size Cortanas might be scaled to the
Don't
helmet
even
almost?
put the chip in. Just put the figure straight in.
Right.
So her legs are dangling out the back.
Her legs just sticking out.
I like that. So overall, I'm very happy. I don't know. What do you guys think of what you've seen from this thing? I really want, and I know it's not my idea, but I wanted them to come up with a helmet series. It would be great for them to come out with a bunch of variants on this. And the scale itself, cool. It's more similar to those, what are they called? The
micro
fleet helmets. Yeah, it's really close to that size.
I think it's a cool idea. I think I'd like a series, but I also worry that people would say they're copying Lego, because obviously Lego's just started doing a whole series of helmets for Star Wars and Marvel.
Yeah. But who cares? If they're copying them,
well, some people do, some people like to make comparisons.
Sure.
But
it's petty, in my opinion.
I think that for the most... What am I trying to say? I've lost my... I know what I'm trying to say. Let me get back to it. So, what I'm trying to say, my brain just went completely there, is I've been sat thinking about the colour for this whole time.
Yeah.
And I feel like they kind of have a get out of jail free card, because although this is a Halo Infinite branded product, they could easily turn around and say this is Chief's helmet from Halo 3. Boom, colour's spot on.
Yeah. That's true, because the color is a little bit different from what you look on the trailers and whatnot. But I mean, I'm into it. I think it's good once you see it. But when you compare it to the other bricks that we've we have in the other sets, then it's like, whoa, it's a little different. So anyway, the other thing I didn't mention are the little lights. His lights on his helmet are a nice touch, and they did those with some silver. I don't know what you call that piece, but some little silver pieces on each side. So yeah, it's a nice little piece. I would definitely recommend picking it up, and I have it on my desk, the desk that I'm working from at home now. And it's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Nice, I dig it.
All right, why don't we wrap up the show? So we have covered a lot over the course of these podcasts. Really, the only that we haven't covered, because they just haven't really been out there yet, are the mercenary combat units. I think they're in Canada, I believe.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any in the U.S. yet, or I don't know, Tom, maybe not in the U.K. Mercenary combat unit, the UNSC combat unit. We don't know when the platoon pack is coming, the Marine platoon pack. That'll be coming eventually. There is a blind bag series 2 that we did preview on one of the previous shows. The hijack ghost we've also seen. There's probably going to be a Halo Heroes series after the one that we received, so that'll show up eventually. And then we do want to cover, we mentioned before, we do want to cover the alternate builds for all of this first wave, so we'll definitely get into that eventually. But yeah, we've covered a lot of ground. I mean, this has been it's been a solid wave. We've said it before, but there's been a lot to talk about on the front.
We've had infinite opportunities to discuss things.
Yeah,
You love to hear it.
yeah, absolutely. So why don't we close the show? We're running a little bit long. Any community shout-outs or anything you guys want to cover?
I wanted to shout out the Sacred Icon Halo Boys. They just recently did their 50th show, so go over and give them a listen and a shout. Those Brian and Josh are two of the most amazing Halo fans in community. They do a great show, so go check them out. And I'll always shout out John and Bovie and your son, John. So thank you guys for tuning in, as always.
Yeah, absolutely. Tom, how about yourself?
Thank you for all of the love on the YouTube. We are working to try and get more video content going out, and obviously that doesn't just apply to Builds with Blocks. You've got Krista's great review of Shadows of Reach.
Yeah.
And we will be trying to work on more video content in the future. We are getting very, very close to 2,000 subscribers already, which is mind-blowing.
Mm-hmm.
And it has been a lot of fun running point on a lot of video content. And I know I really enjoy it. Matt, I think you really enjoy it. So thank you, everyone, for making it possible, because it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, you guys have been putting in work. It's been great. And I think the views and subscriptions are following accordingly. So thanks for putting on all that hard work, guys. Gabe, how about you? Anything you want to shout out or promote?
Actually, I do. It's not exactly Mega Constructs related, but it's a good friend of mine. His name is !_MOK. He's a chibi-style artist on Twitter and Instagram who does Halo artwork. It's absolutely amazing. His style is unlike anything I've ever seen. He's an incredibly talented individual, so if you don't already, maybe look him up, see if you enjoy his stuff. If you do, give him a follow. Super good friend of mine. He's an amazing, like I said, he's a very talented artist, awesome member of the community.
Great.
Nice.
Awesome. Well, that will do it for our show. Thanks for joining Builds with Blocks. If you like the show, feel free to support Podcast Evolved on Patreon. Until next time, evolved.
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 This is for everybody who is reading Shadows of Reach and doesn't know how to pronounce it. That word, that keeps coming up over and over again. It is Lashadalirite. You're welcome. Lashadalirite.